Hatsy and I'm back with another build in The Sims 4. Today we are going to be making a classic mansion. This is inspired by an older style of mansion that you'd probably find in England. I guess if I'm gonna sort of say that it's from anywhere, it's probably from there. It is quite a basic mansion, so I did try and change some things around and make it different to just looking like it's a complete box. So hopefully you'll see that. I think that sometimes it's really hard to make mansions more complicated than they are, especially in The Sims 4. I don't know, I tried though. I really want to do like an old Tudor style mansion, so I think that's probably going to be one of the next projects I do. But yeah, the reason why we're building a mansion today is because it is another dream house. So yeah, I'm excited to share it. So the family that were made for it were created by Shav108. These usernames are getting more difficult each time to pronounce. Anyway, the Ware family is a classy and rich family. Marcus Ware, the father of the family, is a businessman, and his career is the second most important thing in the world to him, after his family. He got married to Sarah Ware late in life and had 2 gorgeous children, but they need a new home. Marcus would like a spacious mansion in the elite area with a big spacious office, and Sarah would like a nice big area for entertaining and taking care of her 2 younger children. Hashtag Hatsy Homes. So I really liked them. I liked how basic the description was because it gave me a lot of room to do what I liked in terms of a house that I was making. So I hope that this fits. And yeah, if you want to create a family for this series, then go ahead. I'll try and use them like as soon as possible. I'm trying my best to create as many of these houses as possible, so there will be one like once a week or even like 2 a week probably. I think that there was either like what, 2 or 3 shared, I think last week or the week before, I can't remember. But yeah, I have so much fun doing that series because it's a way that I can really like involve some of you in the channel, and I love doing that, so I hope you enjoy it. Anyway, I had some really cool ideas for this build, and I actually shared a picture to Twitter of a mood board that I made for it. So if you're curious to how I came up with a specific idea of how I wanted everything, yeah, what I do is I create like a mood board of just different pictures that I like, put them together, and what I will usually do is I'll share it on Twitter with you, so you'll be able to see exactly what inspired me for this build and where the ideas came from. So yeah, you'll be seeing like a lot of different ideas which I just haven't used before, most likely. So if you want to find out, then go and follow me on Twitter because that's where I'll be sharing them to. And actually it's really helpful to do that, to make a mood board. Even if you just want to know like, you know, how to get inspiration for a build, then that's a really good idea. Even if you just go look at the mood board, just go and see how I got the inspiration for it, because that really might be able to help you. And honestly, I wouldn't think that like a mood board would help me. You know, usually I like to just sort of have my own ideas about stuff, but actually it's really helpful to have something there that you can just get the ideas from. So yeah, I was excited about that. I messed up with the ivy though, so you'll see me redo it a lot because I think sometimes like I put it on just too much and it looked too strange, but I think it looks okay in the end. I definitely wanted ivy on the build though, so I was happy that it ended up with just like a little bit on there, but I think it's a cute house. Do you know, it's really weird though because the inside reminds me a lot of my parents' house, which I think I go on about a lot, and I need to recreate it. It was really strange though because I was talking to my mum the other day, and she has, you know, she's recently been very supportive of the channel, which is amazing because I'm happy that my parents like finally getting on board with it, because it was something that they were really unsure about. They were just like, yeah, we don't really get it, we don't really understand it, we don't want to get it, we don't want you to talk about it, etc, etc. But recently, like, they've been kind of more open with it, which is really nice. And I was talking about getting my mum on for a build, which I think would be so funny to just get her opinion on, because she's just completely oblivious to everything like to do with gaming, so it'd be really funny to get her on and see what she'd have to say about it. But yeah, I really want to rebuild their house because, Yeah, well, number one, it's an amazing house, and my mum's been really amazing with decorating it, to be honest. In fact, it's one of the most nicely decorated houses that I've probably ever seen. I recently spoke about it though in a creator sim that I did, because I was speaking about a ghost experience, well, like the time that I saw a ghost in the house, which I'm not going to talk about during this build because yeah, I kind of get mixed feedback when it comes to stuff like that. You know, some people are really skeptical, which I understand. Yeah, at the same time, some people really like hearing about it. So it's something that I've decided to speak about probably like on my second channel and just really open up about my ghost experiences, because twice I've seen a woman in the house now, but I think it's really interesting even to mention. And I don't care, you know, I've kind of given up with this like treading on eggshells and stuff and just being like, yeah, I don't want to say this in case it offends anyone, etc, etc. I'm just going to be really open with my opinions. And I don't mind if people disagree with me. I think it's really rare to find a YouTuber that can't take criticism. I'm a lot better at it now than I used to be. Oh my goodness. As soon as I used to get criticized on anything, I was like, oh, that hurts. That really hurt. But no, I'm just like, I don't really mind now. You know, everyone's going to have an opinion, and that's only normal. Like, if so many people watch a video, you're not going to find every single person that's going to like and agree with absolutely everything on there. So yeah, anyway, I was trying to add something really unique onto the front of the build to make it have like a really cool face to it. That sounds so strange. But I think you know what I mean by the clock on the front, because it looks really elegant. But I did something with that later on. I really hope that in the future we'll get some pieces that we could use on the fronts of builds. I wish I could make a pack for The Sims 4, but I think everybody does. My pack would just be probably items for castles and stuff like that. It would come with terrain tools because I really miss those. Oh my goodness. If we had terrain tools, I would create so much. Like, you probably wouldn't be able to get me off The Sims, to be honest. I would have to recreate every single castle that I've ever done up to this point just because I'd want to see how it looked with terrain tools. You know, it's a big deal. Yeah, so another idea I had actually was recreating Willow Creek. I'm considering it, and what I mean by that is having like a file that you can just download with all matching creations of mine on there so that you can just use it in your game, because a lot of people ask for that. And you know, I'm considering it. I've seen other YouTubers do it before and it looks amazing. Like when they go and they redo a world entirely, it looks really good. So maybe I would. And I think it's interesting as well because everyone has like a different take on a world. Like I have a completely different style to another YouTuber that, you know, also builds. Like that's just what happens. Everyone has their own kind of style. So I think it would be interesting if I did. Yeah, maybe not this house though. Like this probably wouldn't be included. I'd probably do like loads of suburban houses and stuff like that. Yeah, maybe for a new Let's Play, then I'd think about recreating the whole of Willow Creek or something. I've pretty much done that with, I think, my Let's Plays up to this point. Like recreated a lot of different builds. I think Windenburg for Callywell Estate, I recreated like loads of builds in there. And then for the pomegranates, I think I tried to do it, but then it didn't go to plan. But to be fair, that was my first ever Let's Play. Like, give me a break. And then Let's Play Witches, I did actually. I recreated the whole neighborhood, and that was really cool. I was really happy with that actually. Yeah, I think it looks so much better though in the vampire world. I love that vampire world. It's the kind of world that I would love to create a house there and like imagine living in a place like that, but would I actually? Probably not. I'd be so frightened. I probably wouldn't leave the house. I'd probably be more frightened to live in a world like that than I was in Germany, and that really does say something. Not that I wasn't happy like in Germany, you know, the country, it was just the destination and a couple of the people that I was surrounded by. Yeah, I had like the weirdest experiences ever, but you're probably sick and tired of hearing about that if you've been around the channel for a while. Yes, so anyway, I was thinking about what to talk about for this video because it's what, nearly 30 minutes long? Like, what do I tell you? Well, I thought I'd talk about my trip to London because I had a really nice time there. So what happened was my parents flew over from Switzerland because they lived there. They originally came over because my dad had a Dell ticket. So we were going to go, the four of us, so me, James, mum and dad, to London to go and see Adele. But then she cancelled, of course, because that's just my luck, isn't it? So I really wanted to see my parents anyway, so we decided to just like spend the time in London, and we booked like a different hotel and stuff. But yeah, it was annoying because a lot of the money that my parents like had to spend on that trip, they're just like not gonna get back. Like, it was wasted in hotels, travel. You know, they flew over from Switzerland for this concert, for goodness sake, and they're just like not gonna get it back. And I don't think she's gonna do another one. What ended up happening anyway is my dad's now got Ed Sheeran tickets for next year, so I'm actually more excited for that than I am for Adele. So sorry, Adele. You're probably not watching this. And I think he's one of my favourite performers, so it's gonna be really good, and I'm very happy for that. Yeah, anyway, went to London, and because we didn't see Adele, we had a free evening. That would have been the evening that we went to the concert, but we didn't. My dad last minute booked this really strange medieval evening. Now, I think this is just definitely worth talking about because this is one of the most hysterical things. We ended up going to this really strange part of London, but it's really nice. If you've ever been there or if you know what I'm going on about, then please don't take offense. It was weird because it was like the underground part of London. No, that sounds really weird. Okay, it was like a boat place where people dock their boats, but it was an old part which has been redone. So yeah, anyway, this medieval evening was in the basement of this very old building, which just reminded me of like the underground of London. Not that I've ever seen the underground of London before. What am I talking? I don't know. But we went there, and it was the weirdest evening I've ever experienced in my life. So we arrived, and there was a man dressed like Henry VIII, and like we never got to the bottom of what his act was. I thought that he was going to do that thing where he was going to like pretend that he was on a horse and then like run at somebody with a wooden pole. No, okay, I'm not explaining it well at all. But yeah, so anyway, we sat down. It was basically like a meal, but it was a medieval meal. So you had to drink your soup with no spoon and stuff like that. Like, I wasn't into that, to be honest. I didn't get enjoyment out of doing that. And actually my mum didn't touch a soup because she was like, oh no, I can't do this, can't possibly. So that's what she's like. I think it was like more funny to see how like out of place my parents were because they really didn't want to like have their soup with no spoon or anything like that. It was hilarious just for that, to be honest. But yeah, so what happened was we had to sit on this big table of just random people that we'd never met before, which I really like. I love doing that. When you go to a restaurant and like they put you on a big table or something and then like everyone's kind of socializing and speaking to each other. I don't know, it's like being at a wedding and you just sort of meet new people that you've never spoken to before. I love it because it's just like socializing with just random people. Well, I was on the end, so I didn't even get to socialize. But what happened was my mum was sat next to this Irish woman, and the Irish woman had like full on sort of medieval clothing on and everything. Like, she got really into this evening, and she wasn't part of the act. No. She was just like a random woman who just really wanted to be there. Like, really wanted to be there. And what would happen is like every single time my mum would talk or my mum would do something to annoy her, she'd just tell my mum to like shut up. It was so weird. And my mum got more and more frustrated throughout the evening because this one was like properly disrespecting my mum, just like shouting at her and stuff, or like, you know, being sassy, I guess. But yeah, she was taking it really seriously, and she did not like anybody having any fun at all. Like, she wanted to watch every single act that came out. You know, she was invested into the Henry VIII man dressed in a costume, wanting to medievally joust people and stuff like that. Like, this was where this evening was going. It was so funny. But yeah, the food was absolutely awful. Like, I have to say it. I'm sorry. It was awful. I remember when the vegetables came. This is really odd. But yeah, the vegetables came, and like, I love my vegetables, let me tell you. Okay, I'm one of these people that if someone puts a plate of vegetables in front of me, I'll eat all of them. Like, I just do. I love them, okay? So what happened was we got this massive pot of vegetables, and there was like a few pitiful carrots on top, and then all the rest was potatoes. And I don't like potatoes that much, so it was really annoying because I got really excited because I was very hungry. I was like, yes, That's what I like to see, vegetables. And then all of a sudden it was just like, oh, damn, potatoes. Oh, okay. Yeah, they are vegetables, but they're not my kind of vegetables. Yeah, the potatoes were bad though. They were really dry. So it wasn't the best evening food-wise, which was a shame. But yeah, it was an experience. Something really annoying though was the fact that the food wasn't like filling enough. So I wanted to go to Starbucks afterwards because I love Starbucks. And also, you don't actually get Starbucks outside of London or, you know, Birmingham or like the major cities anyway. You don't tend to find Starbucks sort of lingering around English towns or whatever. I think the nearest I've got is a Costa. No, Cafe Nero, I think. And that's my least favourite place to go. I'm sorry. I do not like the coffee there. I was 1 minute late for Starbucks and then it closed. How annoying is that? Like, that was very annoying. But yeah, that was my evening. How strange though. I loved it. Like, it was really good. I won't go too much on about it because I'm going to go on to the build now. But yeah, like, there we go. Anyway, on to the inside. So the inside was, I think, as I said this before, very inspired off my parents' house. So they have like a lot of French doors and things like that, like a lot of sliding doors as well. I wish we did have sliding doors in Sims 4, just like that you could put inside the houses and they could just slide across. I mean, it's fairly self-explanatory. But there we have it. So I love it. I love this interior. It's not going to be for everybody, but it is for me. Like, honestly, I love it. I would have my own house like this just because this is what I'm used to. You know, this is what, like, my parents have and stuff. So I think that I'd have it as well. Yeah, I just would. I think that in most cases what I've seen is, like, depending on how your parents have their sort of interior tastes, sort of depends on how you have yours. I don't know if that works for everyone. But like I can definitely say that my house, the way that I have things is like pretty much based off what I'm used to anyway. I don't know, I've seen that with a lot of people, but it'd be interesting to see if that works for you as well. Yes, there we go. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to make the hallway at this point. So it's quite open plan, it's quite big. I tried my best not to fill it up too much though, because I've got this bad habit of feeling like I need every single place in a build just completely filled with furniture. And actually I don't think that's very good. So I don't know why I do that. I'm trying to get out of that habit because I think it looks a lot better having some areas of the build just a little bit plainer, or just having the basics in a certain area. I don't think there's any need to sort of like clog everything up just with random stuff that I want to put in. So yeah, we did go through a few changes in here just because I was just really uncertain about what to have. That bookcase though is my absolute favourite. I love it. I absolutely love it. Like, I would have a bookcase like that now if I could, honestly. In fact, I was looking into getting a 4-post bed, but I can't have one in my house, I don't think, because I wouldn't be able to get it up the stairs. I honestly think having a 4-post bed would be the worst thing for a new build English house, because you tend to find, like, with new builds in the UK, they make it so that it's very difficult to have, like, anything other than modern furniture in a house, in my opinion anyway, because, like, modern sort of flat pack furniture, for an example, like IKEA furniture or Danone furniture, is kind of made in a way that it fits in with new builds. But yeah, as soon as you try and bring a 4-post bed into the mix, no, you can't get it up the stairs. Oh, really weird story actually. So when I lived in Basel, we had this really strange apartment, and it was one of my favourite apartments I've ever been into, but I guess I'm biased because it was mine, so of course I'm gonna like it. But yeah, it was this really weird apartment. It had like a mezzanine or a mezzanine, I can't remember how you pronounce that. But yeah, so you had like a spiral staircase and then it was split. So what happened was we had the measurements of the apartment before we moved in, because the people that originally lived there were taking ages to move out. Oh my goodness, that was really frustrating. They took like 2 weeks off work and they moved out on like a Wednesday, which was frustrating because we wanted it on the Saturday so then we could enjoy it for the weekend. But no, oh no, they wouldn't cooperate whatsoever. So we just had to do whatever they did. And we also ended up paying for like half the month just because we had to. There was no reason, because we didn't actually live there for 2 weeks, but we had to pay for it anyway. Yeah, so anyway, what happened was we ordered all this furniture. And then when we actually moved into the apartment, because we pre-ordered it so that on the day that we moved in, it would all arrive. So yeah, on the Wednesday, I was alone by myself because James was at work. And there, this massive sofa arrives. And then I think to myself, oh, I didn't think it out because how am I going to get it up the spiral staircase? And this was the biggest sofa that you can possibly ever imagine. Like, it's so big that I have to keep it in the garage now because it will not fit in my current house. It is the biggest sofa ever. So yeah, I ended up having it downstairs, but it looked really weird. It was like you'd walk into the apartment and all there'd be is this like sofa bed there. Okay, so I originally thought when it was advertised as a sofa bed, it meant that it pulled out another bed, like inside, like you would be able to open it up and it would have a pull-out bed for guests. No, they meant that it was the size of a bed. So there's that to think about. It was a very strange situation, but I loved that apartment. I wouldn't be able to recreate it in The Sims though, that's the only thing, because it had like wooden sloping ceilings. I can't remember if I talked about this. Like, I can't remember if I've ever mentioned this. But yeah, another worry that I had was we ordered the bedroom furniture and I ordered this massive wardrobe for the bedroom. And when it arrived, I then realised, oh no, hang on, the bedroom ceiling sloping, it didn't actually fit. So we had to take it back. Like, the men had to come back to the house and just come and collect it again. Because the option was to have the wardrobe over the window in the room, which is really weird if you think about it. Like, why would you put a wardrobe across a window? You just wouldn't, would you? Or put it across the balcony door so that we wouldn't be able to access the balcony, which is just crazy. Like, there was a lot going on, but yeah, we ended up sorting it in the end and just having no wardrobe. No, actually, we did have a wardrobe, we just had it in a different room, which was a nightmare to get rid of. Yeah, I've probably spoken about that like several times because I do not have the best luck with wardrobes. I remember like 6 people coming to view it and they all turned it down, and it was free. Like, who turns down a free wardrobe? But it turned out that the people coming to view it, this was the one in the other room by the way, were actually looking to make a profit out of something we were giving away free. Like, I don't get that at all. Like, why? Why would you try and make a profit out of me? I'm trying to give it away free to someone that needs it. Just, it didn't make any sense. So yeah, I was getting like random shop owners coming around and just like looking at the free wardrobe and thinking, oh, I can make something out of these people. And it's just like, seriously? I'm being generous. Yeah, anyway, on to the lounge. So the lounge was a bit of a weird one. And something I haven't done before is actually using a seat as like an actual table. I don't know if that works, but it looks like it does, and I'm just going to go with it because I was pretty happy with that. Maybe I'll use it again at some point in the future. I was also really confused about how to have this room, but I think it ends up pretty nice in the end. So yeah, hopefully you'll see that. But the room that I was inspired by is on Twitter, so if you want to see it, then if you go over to there, I think I mentioned this before. Like, there's only so many times I'm going to mention it. But yeah, if you go find me on Twitter, HatsyYT, then hopefully you'll be able to see the mood board that I made and the lounge that I was inspired by. But we didn't have the exact sofas and the rug. I hope we'll be able to get sofas like that in the future though, because I loved the sofas that were used on the picture that I was inspired by. And also I added some colour to the room, so it's got like a little bit of an orangey vibe there by the end, which I was quite happy with. Anyway, going outside now. So this is an area that I forgot about. Well, it wasn't that I forgot about it, it was the fact that I just didn't know what to do with it. So I left it for a bit, and then when I had an idea, I was like, okay, I kind of know what I want to do now. So the idea is it's just sort of an outside area that your Sims can sit and you can have some memories out here. I don't know, I just thought it was interesting because it's like covered in ivy and stuff. I really like it though, because it's sort of like the older part of the build, you know, because it's supposed to be like quite an old mansion. So having something like that that's really overgrown and nice, I personally really liked that. Yeah, anyway, going on to the upstairs of the build, the hallway I tried to keep as basic as possible. It's hard because I'm kind of in the mentality that I just want to fill it up just like with loads of stuff, but I just had to control myself and be like, whoa, you know, calm down a minute. Like, you don't need to do this. You don't need to keep filling everything up constantly. Just leave it plain for a bit, because not everyone likes really cluttered builds. That's just not what everyone's into. And I don't even like it. I don't know why I do it. It's just like a mentality that it's not a complete build unless every single corner's got something in. I don't know. But yeah, so this is supposed to be the main bedroom. I honestly can't remember how I ended up having this. Oh yeah, I do actually. I do. So it's nice. It's quite bland by the end though. But I did another build because I'm working on another dream house at the moment as well. And the one that I've just finished, I also use that 4-post bed in. So that's pretty good because I haven't actually used that 4-post bed. I don't think yet, from memory, I can't remember using that bed. Apart from in this build and then the build that I've just built. So yeah, lots of stuff that I'm trying to experiment with. Oh yeah, I remember it ends up like quite pink in here, which like, I don't know. I've gone off pink rooms, honestly. I used to have a pink bedroom. I used to love it, like absolutely love it. I made a mistake though, because like I remember my mum just pretty much let me do whatever I wanted with my bedroom as I got older, within reason. I was never allowed posters on my walls or anything, but I was allowed to change the wall paint and also the floorboards. So yeah, I just had this like really dark room, but then I realised, oh, it's kind of depressing in here. But that was my own fault because that's what I chose. So I'm an idiot, basically. Like, that's the point of that story. So anyway, I finished the balcony outside just by putting some chairs out there. You can put whatever you want there. I mean, you could put like a hot tub or something there if you wanted to, but I didn't want to because I quite liked it being like that. Yeah, I think that's probably one of the first times that I've ever had a balcony like that, and I've been able to control myself and be able to just be like, no, it doesn't need a load of stuff in. It's okay how it is. I really like this bathroom though because it's very plain. I like that one. And it's not pink, it's actually a peach wall paint, that one, I think anyway. I haven't been great with colours recently. It's like all these pale colours just blend into one. I don't know, I've noticed it more recently where someone said to me that they're wearing, let's say, blue, and I'm like, no, that's green, you're wearing green. And then they've been like, no, it's blue. So I'm probably not getting that good at colours. I don't know what's happening to me. Yeah, maybe it's just because I'm gaming too much. I have no idea. Does that mean that if you game too much, you start to lose your colour sensitivity? I don't know. Like, whatever. If that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. Anyway, so last room, I was pretty happy with it. Not those mirrors though. I think I'd have changed those. In fact, no, they look nice with that chair. Okay, anyway, that's the end of the build. I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope to see your future ones. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon.